How is it going today? Let's canonize Dwayne.
My name's Jazz.
We're Dwayne and Jazz, so we have Wansee 4 horror stories animated compilation of August 2019. I love horror. Horror is one of our favorite genres. We got some cooking for y'all. Y'all just be on the lookout. Anyway.
Keyword cooking.
Cooking. If you guys have any requests, please follow us on social media and the like and the description. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's dive on in.
Hey, go ahead.
This happened.
Would you like some cooking? Wait, yo,
Yes,
where's that?
I do.
Hold on, where's
Hey.
that beat at? Where's that beat at? Where's
Let's do
that
it
beat
again,
at?
let's do
Where's
it
the beat?
again.
Where's the beat? Where's the beat at? Like, hold on, where can we find that? Can
There
we
it is.
find?
We didn't even know that beat was gonna
Right,
come on.
I didn't. Would you like some cooking?
We just hinted to it.
I know.
In the beginning, then it said, "Oh, cooking."
Yeah. Cooking? Let's go. Let's stop on it. I'm not, just don't, The beat do hit though. I'm like.
This happened when I was a kid. I was in the 5th grade and my friend, let's call him Ethan, invited me over to his place. He lived right by the ocean, and if you walked through the forest for half a mile, you'd reach a nice beach with a diving board. When I got to his house, we hung out, played video games, and talked. You know, typical kid stuff. Then we decided to go to the beach. It wasn't too far away, and we knew we could get back in time for dinner, so we set off.
I don't even think we're gonna be able to get through this one.
We can't. We just gotta stop playing.
I think. All right, you want to start over one more time?
No.
Okay,
We're good,
all
we're
right.
good, we're good.
Ethan. They went to a forest with Ethan. All right,
Yeah, they're
you got
playing
it.
video games. They went to forest. Got it.
Right. Yo.
To make the trip more adventurous, we decided to bushwhack our own path. After walking a couple of minutes, we hit a tall fence. Crap, Ethan exclaimed. Well, again. Suddenly, out of the corner of my eye, I spotted something. The fence went about 8 meters long and then stopped. My jaw dropped. There was a house. It was an old cabin with boarded up windows. The planks were falling off and you could see the old insulation underneath.
Don't go in.
It was gray in color and had flecks of blue paint. The fence led up to the side of the house, stopped, and then continued on the other side. What scared me the most was that there was no road. I mean, not even a clearing to get to the road.
He doesn't want to be
walk
found.
20 minutes. Cabin, come on, Ethan yelled from behind me. Look at this, I shouted back. Ethan walked up to me and his jaw dropped. There was no door, just a frame. And peering through the frame, we could see that there was a back door, also with no frame.
Okay.
All we had to do was walk through the house, then we could get to the beach.
Don't do it.
I looked at Ethan.
Don't do
Should
it.
we do it? I asked him. He shrugged. I don't see why not. He
You'll just run
responded.
through somebody's house.
Inside the house was dark, despite the sunlight pouring in through the door. We advanced slowly through the house, and
Why?
Ethan
Why
pointed to
slowly?
the door. As we
Scary.
reached the door, I
would've
peered up the
ran.
stairs. I grabbed Ethan and shoved him out the door.
Right, move.
What was it? He said, as soon as we got away. My whole body shook. I must be going mad, I thought to myself. Eventually, I explained it to him. As we reached the door, I wanted to take one last look at the house. I glanced up the stairs and I saw the shadowy outline of a person. All I could see were eyes staring
You
back
heard that
at me
sound?
Yeah.
and a crooked
Sound like
grin.
a liquor.
Yeah.
Or clicker.
Ethan and I
Sorry.
took
Liquor,
another
clicker,
route
both.
back home, and we told Ethan's mom. She laughed at us and said she'd been that way many times and there was no house.
What?
We were
Excuse me?
angry because she didn't believe us.
Right.
So we got out our cameras and went back the
So,
next
okay.
day.
We're going to take a
When we
picture.
got there was no house.
Whoa.
Whoa.
It was just gone. No clearing, nothing. To this day, Ethan and I still wonder what it was.
Ghost house.
Was that man just a homeless person? Or maybe he was something much, much worse? I suggested to Ethan a theory that scares me to this day. I had been reading about Russian folklore, and a page caught my attention. It was a story about a witch named Baba Yaga who had a moving house. She would eat naughty children, and
Whoa.
parents used to use it to scare children. Was this a witch? I guess
She looks like a
we'll never
nice
know
little
for
witch.
sure.
She looks nice.
Would you like some cooking?
Yeah.
No, hell no.
I
No. True hide and seek in cemetery. Oh
I
no,
was-
that's
do. Why in the
Early teenage
cemetery?
years during this
Y'all
time.
playing with the dead. Y'all playing
My
with souls.
family and I went on
Right.
vacation in a village which had a forest rumored to be haunted. There was a cemetery in the forest. It was a little far away from the village, near a lake. We weren't actually supposed to go to that forest, but my cousins thought it would be fun to play hide and seek at night.
Cousins always get
We
you
were
in trouble.
given some
Facts.
We weren't allowed to take our phones or flashlights with us.
What?
As planned,
That's stupid.
Ultimate hiding
Yeah.
place.
our
Hell
farmhouse
no.
at midnight. Me and my younger sister, who was 7 years old at that time, were the youngest out of everyone. So my older cousin decided to help us hide. He was 22 at that time, and he wanted to make sure we didn't get lost.
Well, what?
I feel like you
After we
tried to
chose
set
who
them
was going to
up.
be the seeker, we parted ways, trying to find the best hiding spot. My older cousin just wanted to win, so he took us to the cemetery. He said, "She'll obviously be too afraid to enter the cemetery. I think this will be a best hiding spot for us." Although my younger sister kept telling us not to go there, we shut her
Smart
off,
girl.
telling her she was just a kid and would make us get caught.
Aw, poor baby.
To this day, we wish we would have listened to her.
Poor baby. He never
It
listened to
was
the little
getting
girls.
darker. It was almost 2 a.m. Then all of a sudden, the
lights.
cemetery lights went out.
Ooh.
My sister's hand tightened around my hand.
What y'all done did, look.
My cousin was obviously scared too. We could only hear the sound of wind and stray dogs barking at the backside of the cemetery. But then, we heard digging noises.
Somebody's
I still remember that horrifying
going
sound.
in
At a distance, we could see an old man with ruffled hair and dirty clothes digging a grave with his bare hands. He was making hissing noises while he dug. All of us stood there frozen. We didn't know if
Time
we
to
should
go.
scream
Yeah.
or run
It's time
away.
to go.
Game over.
My cousin held our hands and started to slowly lead us to the entrance,
There you
Yeah,
go.
get
trying
out.
not to make any noise.
Get out.
He whispered, "We have to get out of here." My sister was almost on the verge of
Aw.
crying. But to ruin everything, I stepped on a broken branch.
I'm telling you, they do.
The stranger shot up his head
Oh,
toward our direction,
Lord.
and his lips curved in a creepy smile.
Oh my God.
"Run!" my cousin yelled, quickly picking up my sister and running
He said,
away.
"You got
as I
legs,
followed
run."
closer
Right.
behind them.
Oh my
Thankfully, the man
goodness.
was weak and couldn't run any faster.
Whew.
He stopped at the middle of the cemetery,
Thank
staring at
goodness.
us with his hazel eyes. A few days later, we found out that the man had
Wow.
been caught by the police. He was a criminal who dug up dead bodies,
Oh, good. Yeah,
stored
great.
drugs in them, and sent them off to other nations to sell drugs.
Wow.
He was caught once, but successfully escaped.
Wow.
If he wasn't so old and weak, I'm afraid that we might have ended up
That would've
being
been
a
the end
couple
of
of dead
him.
bodies too.
Ugh.
The girl in my mysterious house wants to play. Oh, they keep playing with this. Who knows where we can find
My
that?
name is Alyssa, and I'm 15. A few months ago, something strange happened to me.
Okay.
To this day, I can't explain exactly what happened. I was relaxing at my house, doing some schoolwork on my laptop. Being home alone never bothered me until then. After about 2 hours of being alone, I decided
Get
to
some
go
ice
get some
cream.
ice cream from the freezer. As I headed back with ice cream to my room, I heard someone bang on the front door.
Don't answer.
I never answer the doors, and I always make sure they're locked when my parents leave.
Wow.
I decided it was the mailman, and that he would set the package down and leave.
What? At
Then I
night?
heard the bang again, but louder. I was confused, so I went to my dad's office since it had a window facing the front porch. The second I grabbed the door handle of his office, my parents' bedroom door slammed shut right next to me.
What is?
I screamed.
What is?
Our air conditioning
oh my
was
God.
broken at the time,
Oh my
so there was no way it could have been the air. I looked at the door, ran to the other side of the house, and called my mom to see if she was expecting anyone over. No,
Call the
listen,
police.
she said. And those two words made my heart beat faster than it
Call the
ever has.
police, not your
My
mom.
phone disconnected, and I started hearing footsteps coming towards me from down the hallway. I ran and hid behind a door in our living room. I knew I'd be out of sight, since I used to hide there as a child. I called my close friend Emily, who always knew how to calm me down in crazy situations.
Call the police.
She told me to go and lock myself in my room. As she was talking, I started to hear doors open and slam shut along with footsteps,
See, someone's
and the
playing.
voice of a little girl saying, "I'm going to find you,"
Oh my
over
goodness.
and over. I started crying, and when the noise stopped, I ran to my bedroom door. When I grabbed the handle and was about to go in, I heard it again. The little girl was in my room and said, "Come here, Alyssa. I want to play. Come here." I ran to the guest bathroom and locked myself in. I started to hear knocking on the bathroom door and the voice, "Don't you want to play, Alyssa? We could have a lot of fun."
No.
I started screaming back, "Hell no, just leave me alone." She started laughing. The knocking and laughter grew louder and louder. And then it started sounding like that thing, started to walk away, still laughing and knocking. Then I couldn't hear it anymore. My grandpa came into the house yelling, "Alyssa, it's Grandpa. You can come out. You're safe." I ran as fast as I could to my grandpa.
What are you doing?
Later on, I found out that after my phone cut out on my mom, she sent my grandpa to check on me.
Oh, I was about to
Once
say,
I told
how
my
do you
grandpa
know?
that a little girl had gotten into the house, we went around the house searching for her, but we never found anything. All the windows and the doors were locked. The garage was closed up tight, and nothing was broken into. I hate being home alone now, and being in my room, but I've learned to deal.
Okay,
Whoa. I thought the granddad was about to say. I thought he knew the whole story.
To be read.
Yeah, I thought he knew the whole story.
Right.
I know the little girl.
I know the little girl. That
I
was
was about 9 years
Elizabeth,
old,
I told her when I was younger. Like,
right.
ready to go to swimming lessons.
His,
My brother and I had made a pillow fort,
okay.
and it was still there from the night
It was
before.
very different from the
I had
rest.
crawled underneath the coffee table, where a blanket went over it, blocking out the outside world. I have no idea why I stuck my foot outside of
I
the
like
blanket, but I did. A dark black sock crawled creepily towards my foot and slowly slid over it. The sock was cold, and I felt odd. I recognized the sock. It looked just like the one my mom had. I called out my mom's name and my brother's name, but there was no response, only silence.
What the
I walked to
hell?
the window, but when I looked out, there was nothing out of the ordinary. I saw my cat staring at me with a weird look on her face.
this is what I want to mess with Judge.
I was horrified when I
Be
heard
like,
the
"Why is
shower
your cat
running
outside?"
upstairs. My mom was still in the shower, and my dad was at work. I ran up the stairs to find my brother spinning on the chair in my parents' room. I asked him if he went downstairs,
Why is he?
and he told me he had nothing to do with the situation.
The hell?
I told my mom what had happened, but she didn't believe me. She said that I was probably hallucinating and that it was just the cat. But I know what I saw, and the look on my cat's face is still fresh in my memory.
Everyone's
So
having that
everyone's
same
face
look.
like that. What the hell? Wait, that was the end of the
That was
story?
it. That was in the story. Oh.
That was so. It was just a weird sock that crawled up on your foot, and everybody just had the same face, but you only saw it on the cat.
Yeah. But
That was a weird last.
That was
one.
weird.
The
Definitely
animation
weird
was all weird, and then like
It was
like,
different. I
it
would
was
say-
like the feet was looking like this, but then on one scene it was all super detailed, and then
I liked it. That's why I said I liked it. I liked
He's
it.
sitting with his legs up on the ground. Mom.
Jasmine, chill. Jasmine's in a fun mood right now. I like the animation. I thought it was different.
It's different, yeah, but it was
That's
just
like
funny. Like some of the scenes, I couldn't take it seriously.
Somebody find us that beat, please.
Oh, the
They're
beat
just
for all
teasing
the
us with it.
stories?
Yes.
It's
was
been,
like,
it made me want to dance every time they kept
I
bringing
know,
it
I
away,
like-
and then it came back with the bass, like, doom.
I know we're supposed to be a little serious and horror, but we can't. We just can't, especially like that was like such
like
a fun
music,
moment.
look
Yeah, I
like-
know. It's like, oh my god. Anyway, guys, comment below. Let us know what you think.
Then we get to like,
Subscribe.
share.
Just more deuces.